the Emo Hour. Your weekly power hour of all things emo and adjacent. With your hosts, Katie and Nani.
Hello and welcome to the Emo Hour, coming to you live from Starlink.
Oh, because you are in Mexico again.
Mexico. I'm in Mexico
Believe it or
again.
not.
I know,
And
right? How are you, Katie? Sorry, I should say welcome to the Emo Hour. This is your host, Nani, with my good friend, Katie. Hi, Katie.
hi.
Hi.
You look so tan and sun-kissed, and I look so pale and sad. Okay, I don't think I look sad.
Thank you for not telling me I look like a wet rat, because my hair's wet, and I just popped on to do this. So
Yeah. No, you look but you do look very tan, and I feel very pale. That is a thing.
we're changing that soon, though. Don't you worry.
Yeah, we are. Well, maybe we'll record from Mexico together, but that's in a while. Anyway, you are at your second trip of the year in Mexico, right? And then we are going to do a third trip together in about a month.
I know. Can't wait. It's the best. It's so
Good
exciting.
for you. Just little Miss Wanderlust. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I think I am a wanderlust right now. That's a great word.
Yeah.
Well, I guess without further ado, just to get us going, who wants to do what's making you emo first this week? It's up to you. It doesn't matter to me.
Oh, I'll start.
So what's making you emo?
What's making me emo is today, the day of recording, which is the day before we release the episode, is Chelsea Handler's 50th birthday.
Oh yeah.
And that seems like a weird thing to be emo about. But the reason that I'm emo about it is she's kind of, I mean, she's amazing, right? She's hilarious. She's unapologetically herself. Whatever. She's great. She has, at least for the last few years that I'm aware of, recorded like a skiing video for her birthdays and or pictures of her skiing in bikinis. Usually like with a drink in hand, often with a joint in hand, whatever. And this year for her 50th, she stepped it up quite a bit. And she recorded it at Soldier Mountain, which is about an hour away from good old Sun Valley.
Not
And
even, right? Isn't that the one right in Fairfield?
Yeah, it's an hour away.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. Because when I get to Fairfield, I know I'm an hour from home.
I never knew that. You just taught me something.
There you go. At least the way I drive, it's an hour. Maybe it's faster or shorter for you. I don't know.
I think if Trent's driving, it's 30 minutes.
There you go. It's Soldier Mountain is just like this small little ski hill, like mom and pop ski hill. And she recorded the video there, which is awesome, like to highlight such a small, mom and pop owned mountain. And it very much is clear that it's at Soldier. Like she's driving an off-road vehicle at the beginning that says Soldier Mountain on the side. So it's just great that she like highlighted such a small mountain for this. And then just go to her Instagram because the video is so good. I mean, she gets out of this
like
vehicle and she's in her red bikini. I'm pretty sure she has a margarita in hand. She's got her dog there. And then all of a sudden, like 20 to 25 other women in black bikinis show up. And it's just a video of her like leading the charge, skiing down the mountain. And I know several of those girls are Sun Valley locals. I don't really know them personally, but I know that she picked from some people that are Sun Valley locals, which is also awesome. And I think all of them, or at least most of them, are wearing beanies that have the logo for Wild Rye, which is another local company. So it's just so cool that she highlighted so many little companies in this fun little tradition that she does. And it's just such a great video that I watched it like first thing this morning, and I sent it to you and I sent it to some other people. Just like, this is so awesome.
I've definitely watched it. And that's so interesting that you said that, because I did have some questions. I was wondering who all the girls were, because I love that it was all, like, she was in red and everybody else was in black. And then there's also, like, there's the male in it who's, like, reading her book.
At the very end.
And then he looks up and he's like, wait, huh?
Yeah, he lights her joint for her.
Uh-huh.
Well, she, like, walks up behind him. He's reading her book, and then he lights her joint, and then she walks away, and he's just like, whoa, kind of an expression. But I don't know who that is, but that made me wonder too, like, is that an actor or is that some other local guy?
It's another local guy. The only reason I know that is because somebody else posted on their Instagram. One of our like mutual friends posted on their Instagram, like, love seeing blah, blah, blah's cameo. And
Okay.
I should have paid attention to it closer. I didn't know that that was what was making you emo this week. And I should have paid closer attention to that because it is somebody local.
Yeah. Well, you'll just have to let me know off air who it was, because I mean, that just happened today. I'm sure I'll find out. And some of the women on that video I like kind of recognize just from it being a small town and a small community. But personally, I don't really know any of them. But I think you might.
I didn't look that closely. I just was watching it and thought to myself, cinematically, it's pretty beautiful.
Yeah.
And I love how much coverage, like you said, Soldier Mountain got with like riding the snowcat up and whatever, and then hopping out of it. And then I thought it was super cool. They must have done a couple takes because
I'm sure.
you could see that the tracks on the video, like it looked like they were skiing fresh powder.
Yeah.
And it looked like they had already skied kind of a portion of that in a previous take. And so, yeah, I thought it was awesome. So I love that that's what's making you emo this week because it was epic. And she was such a babe. Like, for 50 years old in that bikini, get after it, Chelsea Handler.
Yeah, she looked great. All the other women looked great. It was just, it felt really just empowering and fun and highlighting so many different local businesses. And I'm sure that there's so many people and references in there that I didn't even fully get, but I just wanted to mention that. So go to her Instagram or look at Soldier Mountain's Instagram or Wild Rye, RYE, and check it out because it's so good. And I love that. I mean, Chelsea's been here before. I saw her. She was here for the Sun Valley Film Festival a few years ago and did a coffee talk. So I went to that, and that was great. And I know she skis here. I think one of her previous videos was also here. I think down when she was skiing down Warm Springs, I believe.
Was it, you mean like when she was 49 or 48 or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Carrying like a dog in her backpack and holding a margarita or something.
I remember that. Now that you're saying, I totally remember that.
Yeah, so she's definitely been around the area. It was also interesting because she was on Jimmy Fallon, I think it was like a month ago maybe, talking about her 50th coming up and how she always does these videos and how she was going to step it up this year. But I swear she said she was going to do it in Canada because I specifically remember watching that clip and being like, ooh, I wonder if it's going to be Sun Valley. Mm-hmm. And I swear she said Canada. And so I wonder, I know she goes to Whistler a lot, so that was kind of what I was assuming. But it made me wonder if like plans just changed or if she was like trying to keep it a secret,
Yeah, I also wonder if maybe like they couldn't take a bunch of stuff over, like their film crew couldn't go into Canada or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. But
Chelsea
go check it out. It's great.
I was going to say, what's Chelsea Handler's? It's just at Chelsea Handler, exactly what her name is. So that's her. Yeah, go check out her Instagram page and watch it because it's pretty awesome.
It is. So, Nani, what's making you emo this week?
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, so I was struggling between a few different things this week, and what I came upon actually is it came to me last night, and that is that music is the universal language, right?
Absolutely.
And I just love that. It makes me so emotional because you can connect. You can not even know the language that they're speaking, and you can connect on a level, and just it's a really beautiful thing. But I realized what the second universal language is. Vans shoes.
Okay. I was like, we've kind of talked about this a little bit before and how sports bring people together. So I thought maybe that's where you were going.
No. So I chose Vans shoes because I was watching this band last night and it was so good. I was in the middle of a jungle, which I can post something from it on the on our Instagram. But they were so good. But really like technical type musicians, like they just were jamming. It was just essentially a jam session in the middle of the forest. And I was just dying because two of the guys were wearing like kind of like the modern day version of old school Vans with like the V swoosh on the side, and underneath it had some checkers, but it wasn't the black and white version. It was tan and like a darker tan, kind of like the pair I got for your daughter, actually.
Okay, yeah.
And I just was like, oh my God, literally, like there are emos everywhere. I
There sure
swear
are.
that these guys in this band were elder emos, but they were playing not emo music. So
Right.
I just started laughing to myself as I was watching. I probably look like a total psycho, but I just had to share with you that that's what was making me emo this week, because I was like, oh my God, I can see a pair of Vans on somebody and immediately be like, wait, we've got something in common.
Right. Love
So,
that. It is universal emo language, that's for sure.
and if they're if they're just the straight up checkered ones that are black and white,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that tells you something even more.
Oh, for sure. That's it.
So.
That's the key.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. And I love that you're seeing some Mexican emos.
It's awesome.
How is Mexico? Do you want to talk about it at all?
Yeah, I'm in an area by Todos Santos, so I'm in Baja right now, and it's beautiful. It's culturally just like one of the more special places, and there's so many special places in Mexico, but this area has kind of its own energy to it, and it's very laid back, very welcoming. There's so much art here, whether it's physical art like in the form of sculpture or painting or textiles or whatever, but then there's also a lot of music here, and everybody just seems really laid back and happy. So it's a really awesome place to be. And yeah, and like I said, I went to some music last night. Went to music the last couple nights actually, and then I'm excited because our mutual friends are joining tomorrow, and we're gonna have a couple more great nights, and then off I go to a couple more adventures. So, which we'll report on that later. But yeah, Mexico is just the best. It's such a great country. I can't wait for us to go together.
I know. That's going to be very, very fun. So great. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Well, should we get into the topic of the day?
Let's get into the topic of the day.
So I feel like we should preface this because last week's episode was all about you, and we indicated, or probably I straight up said, next week it'll be about me. But we kind of decided to push that off until next week, mostly because it's the last episode of the month. So what we've been doing on the last episode of the month is a recap of monthly emo news. So if you were just really itching to hear about me, you're going to have to wait a little bit longer.
I know, if you're on the edge of your seat, just, maybe scooch back just a tiny bit.
Tiny bit.
Yeah, and then next week will be your week. Did you purposely push this off because you didn't want to talk about yourself?
Truly, no. That's
okay,
not
good.
Why.
Okay, good. Because I'm really excited. I'm really excited to hear what you have to share, and I have some questions for you. Hopefully that's okay.
Oh, of course. Yeah. No, it just really was like, oh, this is the last episode, and there's been some news and like things that I do want to talk about. So I guess let's start out by, this is not really February news, but it's something that you and I just became aware of, and that's Pete Wentz from Fall Out Boy has done a tennis club of sorts on 2 separate occasions now, which
crazy.
It's so crazy. You sent me a TikTok of just somebody who had attended it and just was kind of their experience, and it looked just adorable, like truly adorable and heartwarming.
Wholesome.
Yeah.
Like the most wholesome. And I'm like, wait, there's a bunch of emo kids playing tennis. Sign me up. Where did this exist? Like when I was in high school playing tennis and listening to emo music. This was my life.
Same. I mean, I have a history playing tennis too. And who knew Pete Wentz did? Like apparently it was a very big part of his life. So just for some detail, he did his first one in September in Chicago. And if you look at his Instagram, you can find some pictures from that. And then the one that you sent me a video of was PW Tennis Club is what he calls it. The Valley Brunch Invitational in Encino, California on December 14th, 2024.
You know what I loved about it too is he made specific merchandise from Decadence and gave it out to everybody for like a memento of the day, which I thought was even cooler.
Yeah, it's so cool. And I did find this article on it's on brobible.com that talks about it. So the title of the article is Pete Wentz from Fall Out Boy is on a mission to make tennis more inclusive and less elitist. So if you want to know a little bit more about it, you can check that out. But he's wearing this shirt that says the Valley Brunch Invitational. And I love it. I love it. I played, you'll hear about this more next week, but I played tennis in high school and in college for a couple years. And so I still play it to this day just for fun, but I just love that so much. It was very cute.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that's awesome. Making tennis emo again.
Making tennis emo again. So next thing, unless you have something else to add about
No,
that.
I love it. Take the lead because I know we've been working on our list of emo happenings together. We love a shared note. For those who don't know, Katie and I love a shared note, and they're just so good.
We are organized emos.
We're organized emos. We're type A emos.
We definitely are. We don't really have an order to talk about him in, but how about we do the artist Nothing Nowhere, who I've been becoming a very big fan of lately. Like I've been exploring more and more of his stuff, and I'm just very into it. But he started this month a series, I guess you would say, called
The Series That Nobody Asked For. That's what he says. And
yes.
Welcome to my series that nobody asked for. Will it emo?
Yeah. And then the comments are like, we love this. Like, please make a full album about this. So it's emo covers of non-emo type songs. So the first one that he did was the song Happy by Pharrell. And he introduced it like you said. And then he's like, today's edition, hard. I'm going to do the song Happy by Pharrell. See if I can make it emo. And he does. I mean, the sound is great. He sounds great. Like it's a great cover. I think I've said before, something that I find very interesting is covers of songs in a different genre. I just find that so interesting. Like
which is why
like
part of why you and I both love Alex Milton. Like he's so good.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, we did talk about him for quite a while in one of our previous episodes. But I just find that so interesting, and I think it takes a lot of like talent and creativity that I don't have. Because when I think of a song, like that's how I know it, and there's no way I could, restructure it in a different way.
Yeah. And so what were the other songs? It was Happy by Pharrell, and then I know Chapel Roan, Hot to Go, and what was the other one?
And then the third one was All Star by Smash Mouth.
That's right.
And he introed that video by saying like, we're getting out of the swamp for this one, which I thought was funny too.
So I have a question for you. I have my opinion on it, but I'm curious if you think that any of them did not emo.
Well, I think there's two different ways to look at that, if I'm being honest. I think there's the emo sound. I think there's the emo sound and there's the emo lyrics. And so when you're doing a cover, you can't change the lyrics. So I think he very much accomplished the emo sound. However, is Happy emo lyrics? I don't really think so. I'd have to think about the lyrics for, I think All Star, not emo lyrics. Hot to Go maybe has some emo lyrics in it, but I would have to really look at it. What about you? What are your thoughts?
I listened to all three of them before we hopped on again, and I think it's because Smash Mouth is just so ingrained in my brain and the way that it is, and you hear it at baseball games and you hear it at all these different. I did not think that one emoed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And but I'm with you. Like I get what you're saying around the whole idea of like the sound and the lyrics. I think he did a great job of converting all of them into emo music, if you will, like the emo style. But yeah, Smash Mouth did not emo for me.
I mean, that's fair. I like Smash Mouth.
Did I ever tell you? This is me going off a little bit on a tangent, but Smash Mouth had a record that it was past. So they had the All Star record. It was huge, whatever. Then they had another record after that, and I was such a fan, like such a fan. And I I listened to that record probably more than the majority of the world because I think it was a huge flop, but it was not a flop in my brain.
Okay.
And I never got to see them live, and it's sad, because obviously the lead singer passed away not that long ago. But yeah, weird little strange fact about me. There was a time in my life where I loved Smash Mouth.
Wow, I
It was
wouldn't
like
have
my
guessed
workout
that.
song. I was like, da na 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 na. And I'm just like going back and forth on the elliptical, just living my best life.
Oh gosh, I would not have guessed that. Absolutely not. So that's
Oh my
funny.
God. It's Pacific Coast Party was one I'm just going off of my brain right now. I'm trying to think what the other songs are on this record. Let me look it up really quick because if you're looking to go down a weird Smash Mouth rabbit hole, I will say that record was surprisingly really good. What was it called? I'm looking right now. It is, so the one that we're referencing, I think came off of Astro Lounge. And the one that I'm referencing is, I believe it's off of their self-titled record that came out in the millennium, 2000. Because then it went into a bunch of other records like greatest hits and whatnot. And strangely, it looks like they put something out in 2023, which I'm going to have to do another deep dive on Smash Mouth. Sorry, I digress.
Oh, wow.
This is not emo news anymore. This is now
Smash Mouth.
Smash Mouth news.
They came out with an album in
It-
2023?
It looks like they have
Like an
yeah, it
EP
says
maybe or something?
It's called Mistletoes. Oh, maybe it's a Christmas record.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a Christmas record. November
okay.
17th, 2023 is at least the date that it shows on Spotify.
Interesting.
I
Yeah.
might
I
have to
wonder
give that a
when
listen.
the lead singer passed after that, I would guess. But interesting fact, passed away in Boise. Did you know that?
I did know that, which is very
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah, he
'Cause
had
I
a
did
house
not
in
know.
Boise.
I shouldn't say it's strange because we both know how amazing Boise is, but I didn't realize that he was living in Boise. And
Right. I didn't either.
because I feel like when you're in a state that is not known for having celebrities or in a city that's not like most of the time I feel like we know like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Aaron Paul is from Boise and they have
He's from
so
Emmett.
I feel
but
like we
yeah.
would have known that just because he's a person of notoriety.
Yeah.
Wait,
Did you
what'd
hear my
say? I missed that.
clarification? I said Aaron Paul's from Emmett, but yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Small town outside of
Small town.
Boise.
Yes, we need to give Emmett its proper salute.
Yeah, Emmett Huskies. Anyway, moving on.
Emmett Husky.
Um,
What else is going on in the emo world?
Blink 182's Mark Hoppus is
yeah.
releasing a memoir
A memoir.
called Fahrenheit 182,
Love
which
the play
comes
on
out.
words there.
Yes. Do you want to explain the play on words? Or should we just let everybody figure it out?
What is it? Fahrenheit 451, famous book.
Yeah.
That I think I read in high school. I feel like it might have been about like a utopian society or dystopian society where they like watch everybody. I can't remember.
I think you're probably right on there. It's either like a required reading for a lot of people or it's a book that is banned in a lot of places.
That's a really great point, KT.
Yeah. So I don't know what it was for us. But his book comes out on April 8th, and then he's going on a book tour.
Ooh, do we have the
So-
stops yet? Have they announced where he's
yes.
going?
So the book comes out on April 8th. Then on April 9th, so first one is in Brooklyn, New York. April 10th, Somerville, Massachusetts. 12th, Washington, D.C. 13th, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. 16th, Chicago, Illinois. 18th, El Cajon, California. I don't know. I just picked up a little accent on that one. And the 20th in Los Angeles, California. So
Okay. He's just skipping the flyover states, as they like to say.
he is.
There.
Unless they add more dates, I suppose that's always possible. But
Yeah.
you can buy
What
the book
about
on
Minnesota,
pre-sale.
Mark Hoppus? What about Idaho? What about Denver? What about these places?
Yeah, you own a place here. Like, come here.
Come support our small little bookstore. He should do a book signing at Chapter 1.
Oh, he should do that.
He should
You're
do a book
right.
signing at Chapter 1. We can maybe make this happen.
I think we could.
Let's we're gonna put it into the ether because Chapter One is the cutest little bookstore, and they deserve all the support.
Yes, there's a new owner of Chapter One. So Chapter One is a local bookstore in Ketchum. Let's just clarify that. But they just did a grand reopening because there's a new owner of it.
Imagine you're watching a Hallmark movie and there's this girl that was living in a big city and then she moved back to a small quaint town where she's from, or she visited and whatever, and then she's opening up this bookstore and then she falls in love with a man. Like, that's the type of bookstore it is. It is made for a Hallmark movie. It is so dang cute.
You're right.
That's my take on Chapter One.
You are right. So, Mark, there's your next. That's your last book tour date. Is Chapter One?
Chapter One, dang it.
Yeah. But I will say he's also been posting on his Instagram that he's recording the audiobook now. So, I am very interested in that, and I think I will be listening to the audiobook because I
think I probably will too, because we both know that I'm not very good at reading books, although I did successfully just read a book on the beach, which made me feel very proud. But generally, I'm a listener as well. And especially if it's his voice that's reading it, I think that's going to be awesome.
Right. That's what I was going to say. With celebrity memoirs in general, like, I just think that they're way more fun to listen to when they're read by that celebrity. So... yeah. Check that out. It looks like all of like the signed copies that he had are sold out, but you can still pre-order the book and certainly can do the audiobook when that comes out too. I'm sure that'll be very interesting. I mean, he's had very interesting life, right? All of the members of Blink-182 have. So I'm sure it's going to be, growing up, being kind of a skate punk kid, and then meeting Tom and starting a band, and then just like blowing up beyond what they would have ever expected, and Tom leaving the band twice, and side projects including Plus 44, and then Mark getting cancer, and then the band coming back together, and then all the things. Maybe I should have just written it for him.
You should have just written the book for him.
Can I be his ghostwriter?
Yeah, you should be the ghostwriter, and I love how much you know about them.
Yeah, actually, I was talking to one of our mutual acquaintances, Moonshine Schubert. Check him out.
Moonshine Schubert.
About Blink-182, and I just started kind of going on a roll about them, and I was like, I know a lot about them.
But I love it. I love it so much. So one of the other things that I was wanting to bring up was Shaky Knees, which is a festival. And specifically, for those who don't know, it's in Atlanta. And it's been a festival around forever. And in my brain, it's always been a festival that's more indie music, and it's indie, just like indie rock. It is so emo this year. I literally didn't even know what to say. So the headliners are Deftones, My Chemical Romance, and Blink-182. And then underneath that, there's Cage the Elephant and Black Keys and Vampire Weekend and Alabama Shakes, right? And those are the types of bands that I'm used to seeing on Shaky Knees, is more of kind of that like indie rock, I would say. Like the Spoons playing and TV on the Radio and Franz Ferdinand. But then there's also All American Rejects. It's so emo. It's like, it's kind of crazy. I don't know whose idea this was. Like, Murder by Death is on here. Did you ever listen to Murder by Death?
I did not.
Oh, I loved them. But I just thought it was Public Enemy's on this lineup as well. I just thought it was, and Bill Murray, which we recently learned about Bill Murray, but spelled Bilmuri. But I just was totally taken back by this lineup.
Love that. When you said Atlanta, what are the dates?
It is September 19, 20, and 21.
Okay.
Which is exciting. A beautiful time to be in Atlanta. It's like less humid, nice to be outside, not scorchingly hot. So, I mean, that it would be a great festival. Can't remember if I've been to that festival. It's really sad that I can't remember what festivals I've been to and not been to, but that's kind of what happens when you work in music and you just see shows after show. But
just means that you're so cool.
Oh, I'm just so cool. I don't even know what to do about it.
But yeah, cool. I forgot.
For all of our fellow emos out there, if you're on the East Coast, and specifically if you're in the Atlanta area, know that you've got some very exciting music coming to you. at Shaky Knees this year.
Love that. Okay. Next is Under Oath. And I don't know if you know anything about this. So tell me if you do. But do you know that they have performed at least twice that I know of, one in Florida and one on the Emo's Not Dead cruise, in masks?
No.
You haven't heard about this at all?
Like luchadore, like lucha libre masks? What kind of masks?
I kind of like a mix between that and like something you would see in a horror movie, I feel like. All black. They're all wearing all black clothing, and then the masks are pretty much like all black in slightly different styles. So they've been performing under this alternate band name, I guess you would call it, called Locus Ultra. Okay. And they did a show so my understanding is that the first one that they did was a couple weeks ago in Florida, this Locus Ultra show, where basically they performed their brand new album that's coming out at the end of March from front to back, as I understand it, in masks, but it was Locus Ultra. People didn't really know what was going on, like what they were going to. And then people kind of pieced it together that it's Under Oath and that they just played their new album that's coming out. Have you heard about that at all?
No. I'm riding along, jump seat in this car with you, and I'm listening.
So Locus Ultra also has an Instagram page with a number of posts. So go check that out. There's some weird and cryptic stuff going on there. But then they performed on the Emo's Not Dead cruise, which happened a week after their Florida performance. And they performed kind of a mix of older and not older Under Oath stuff that I would reference as older, but more some of their more recent stuff and then some of their brand new stuff. They performed in these masks at the Emo's Not Dead cruise. And
that must have been hot as hell, by the way, performing in the Caribbean with a mask on.
Yeah, I was honestly thinking that as well. And they're moving around stage quite a bit.
In all black and skinny jeans. That sounds torturous.
Yeah. But you can go on YouTube and see the full sets from the Emo's Not Dead cruise and from the Florida show. I did a little bit of that today and watched pieces. Frankly, the videos that I found, the audio quality was not very good. But it's really kind of bizarre. I guess this is just a marketing campaign to bring more attention to them, but maybe it's not, because is Locus Ultra, is this like a Chris Gaines situation, like a Garth Brooks Chris Gaines situation?
Oh, I was like, who's Chris Gaines? Now I remember. I have no idea. I should probably look a little more into this, or we should phone a friend to some of our other emo friends and see if they have a little more insight to it. Cause I don't know what to say.
Yeah. And then I was just telling you, I plan to go see Under Oath open for some other bands in Vegas in April. So by then the new album will be out. And I'm wondering, are they going to perform in masks then? And they're obviously they're going on tour now. So
for your sake, I hope they're not performing in masks. That sounds.
I don't think that they are, because I think that that's the Locus Ultra thing, right?
Okay.
I think they would be billed as Locus Ultra if they were going to perform in masks.
Okay.
But I'm like, are they starting a new band? Is this just my gut tells me it's just fully a marketing thing to bring attention to their new album, and they're doing it in this way.
Right.
Under
Oath.
Yeah.
And if you know what, we should actually just say that, if you know what's happening, will you just DM us and let us know so we understand what's happening too? You can add us obviously on TikTok or Instagram at the Emo Hour, because I think we need a little help understanding exactly what's going on here. Is this, what is it exactly?
Yeah, and I think everybody's figuring it out themselves and has their own theories about what's going on. But it's really interesting. And honestly, the Locust Ultra Instagram is kind of a little like spooky too in my mind. So go check it out. Under Oath is one of my favorite bands from back in the day, and I was listening to some of their new music, which they're also kind of taking a turn, I would say, in their styling. So I think that that's probably a big part of it too, is that they're changing their sound a bit, and I think that
Oh,
that's
okay.
probably why they're doing this as well.
Right.
But it's cool. So when I see them in Vegas, I don't think I said this. They're opening for Rise Against and Papa Roach, which are not three bands that I would ever picture seeing together. But we're gonna do it.
No, I mean, you literally just made me cough.
Yeah.
Like cough laugh. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I can't wait to get your recap of that show, because that's going to be something to share.
Yeah. And then we wanted to say Under Oath, since they played on the Emo's Not Dead, or since Locust Ultra played on the Emo's Not Dead cruise, just a note that they had their they announced for next year, and they're going to be bigger and better. They have a bigger boat, so if you're interested in that Emo's Not Dead cruise, you can check it out for next year.
Yeah, I'm interested in that Emo's Not Dead cruise. And I think I told you, ran into some friends a few days ago in Ketchum, and I had no idea, but they went. And so we have a whole slew of friends that went on this cruise, and I asked them if they would come on the podcast and give us an honest review of like just a normal person going on the cruise, experiencing it, what it's truly like. Because I don't know that, you get influencers who talk about it, or if you're lucky you have a friend who talks about it, but it's rare that you get like a real honest review from somebody who didn't get special treatment or wasn't like given a ticket because they're an influencer. And so I think they agreed to come on, and we can pepper them with questions what it was like, because I think we both have interest in going.
Yes, and we can ask them about Locust Ultra if they watched that performance.
Totally.
And be like, did you understand what was happening? Did you know it was Under
get the
Oath?
masks? Did you understand the masks?
And that was, I mean, if you're a fan, maybe you knew going into it, like you were aware of Locust Ultra because they had that Florida show already,
Right.
But I think the people at the Florida show were just like people that showed up for a show, like not really knowing what was going to go on.
Yeah, for sure. It would not be emo news of the month if we didn't talk about Warped Tour for a hot second, just because they continue to be releasing bands on the daily, and it's been a lot, if I'm going to be honest. But I'm curious, were there any that came out that you're excited about? Because I can tell you the ones I'm excited about.
Yeah. Do you want me to name off a few, or do you want to go like back and forth?
Up to you. Let's go back and forth. Let's go one for one.
Okay. And I can't remember who was announced last time we talked about this, but I know that Hawthorne Heights has very recently been announced. So I mean, Hawthorne Heights is just classic emo to me. So that's awesome. So I'm excited about that.
Okay. So,
and they're in DC, I guess.
Yeah. And I guess I should say that, like, when we're saying that these people got announced, we're not saying that they necessarily got announced for all three shows. I believe that they're only going to get bigger and bigger names as we get closer, because a lot of the times what happens is maybe they got a band to play with them, but they haven't announced the tour of that band. And so they don't have the ability to announce that they're playing Warped Tour. Like there's so many different things at play here of like when they're able to announce certain plays. And I think that, like, for instance, Motion City Soundtrack just got announced. And I did see some people being a little annoyed on the internet about Orlando, and that they don't feel like they got, they're like, we hear you, Orlando. Like we're taking care of things. So,
yeah, I'll just say Orlando's not till November. So that's something that Warped Tour said. Like, the other two dates are in June and July. Orlando definitely still has the most bands to be announced, and it's not till November, and it's only February right now. So
exactly.
Totally, Orlando will be getting some bigger names, is basically what they were saying.
Yeah. And, I'll say that there's a lot of like the redacted names. There's still a ton for Long Beach and for Orlando. I mean, DC is it's pretty well lit up. Like you can generally see who's going to be there. I'm so excited about Girlfriends, but it's a whole other thing.
Yeah. Well, I was excited about Girlfriends too. And I was going to ask you, and we're kind of going all over the place a little bit right now, but like out of these dates, is there one that's like calling to you more, based on the band announcements?
Oh, because we should go?
Yes.
I think that for sake of ease, for us, it probably would make the most sense to go to Long Beach.
That wasn't my question.
Oh, you mean just excitement for the lineup? I mean,
Yeah.
I think I'd have to sit down and really, really look because I would like to see Girlfriends. I believe they're on all of them. I'd like to see Motion City Soundtrack, which I don't think they're on all of them right now. Cobra Starship I want to see, but I know like people like Chiodos you probably want to see, and I don't know. There's just a lot. Like I'm getting to the point where there's so many bands that it's actually a little. Like, when you go to a restaurant or you go to Cheesecake Factory and there's so many options, you can't make a freaking decision. That's pretty much where I'm at right now. There's just too many bands.
Fair.
Which is a great thing.
That is a great thing. I will say for some reason, I'm feeling pulled to DC.
Ooh, okay.
But also those dates aren't great.
No, and Cartel's on that lineup, which I think Cartel might be on all three. I know that they're also going to California. I would love to see Cartel live.
Yeah. And Avril Lavigne was announced. That's a huge one. She's never played Warped Tour before, is my understanding. So this is her first time.
Oh my God, she's officially truly an emo now. If she's officially punk. Okay. I like to rock out.
Yeah. I like to throw things. I like to get angry.
Did you see Avril Lavigne's interview on the Daddy Gang?
Call Her Daddy. Yeah, I watched the whole thing. That came out a while ago.
I know, but I just finally watched part of it because I don't know. I went down some weird spiral. I died when she was explaining to her about the theory about Melissa and how, like, are you actually Avril Lavigne? It got so awkward and weird, but it was, I really enjoyed it.
It did. Avril was just like, it's stupid, it's weird, but it could be worse, so whatever. And then at some point, Alex Cooper said something along the lines of,
could it be
like,
worse?
that indicated that she kind of believed it a little bit.
Yeah.
And Avril was like, well, excuse me?
Yeah. Oh my God, it was so good. What about you? What bands are you excited about?
You rattled off a few. So I'm excited about Census Fail. I've always loved Census Fail. I think I remember seeing Census Fail back in the day at Warped Tour as well. I'm excited about Nothing Nowhere, as we've already mentioned. Nothing Nowhere was announced. I'm looking at the DC lineup right now because I told you I just feel like drawn to that for some reason. Swaco is another artist that I actually have enjoyed. I don't know if you've listened to Swaco very much.
I haven't.
I like Swaco. And State Champs is another band I've been getting more and more into lately. So those are calling out to me. There's so many good ones. The Maine is on here. I've never been like a huge Maine fan, but they're just like, you can't go wrong with the Maine, I feel like.
The only one that I didn't mention that I'm excited about is the Millionaires. I'm so excited about. They're doing all three shows, and I think that it's going to be ridiculous. Because I remember them being ridiculous back in the day. So all that to say, keep an eye on the Warped Tour lineup because they keep on pulling back the tape on these band announcements, and there's a lot more announcements to come still. I'd say easily, probably cumulatively, there's at least like another 40. Maybe more.
Yeah, totally. The starting line is in Orlando. I think only Orlando. So that is also exciting.
Yeah, that'd be so good.
We both love the starting line.
Yes.
Orlando, date-wise, like that might be the move for us to go to Orlando in November, That's nice.
It's a hot place, but I think, in November, it's much more enjoyable. Maybe we do Orlando.
We'll have to figure it out. But
Okay.
oh, Magnolia Park's going to be in Long Beach. They're like a newer emo band. I'm into them.
Mm-hmm.
If you're listening, go to vanswarptour.com. They're updating it daily. Like you said already, they're kind of just like pulling the tape off of these names, and they have all 3 lineups top to bottom. So
And you too can be just as confused by the number of bands and the dates and not really knowing where to go because there's just too many options.
yeah, it's a lot.
It
It's
is a lot.
overwhelming in the best way. But also, DC and Long Beach are technically sold out, and Orlando is not.
Yeah, that's true. What else? I have one other thing that I wanted to talk about for emo news of the month. Did you have anything else you wanted to add? Or do you want me to go last?
Go right on ahead.
Jessie Lacey.
Oh, yes.
And you're the one that should talk about this, not me.
Well, you just sent me that today. So
Yeah.
I've been at work all day. So I haven't like looked into it at all, but help me out. It's a show.
Yeah, so
Jessie
there's a
Lacey
show that was
show.
announced in Nashville. Jessie Lacey's going to be performing live. The show's already sold out, which is crazy, but that's I guess not actually crazy because I think there's such a like a pent up demand for Brand New and for Jessie Lacey just because they've been gone and away for so long, and they're such a loved band. You know, again, we say all this stuff with like. There's just like this asterisk with every there's like an asterisk with everything that you say about them just because of you know it's are they even allegations? I'm asking the lawyer because I don't know. Like they're allegation.
I mean, Jessie Lacey pretty much admitted to some wrongdoing, but
Yeah.
it was some allegations came out, and he pretty much admitted, and then just kind of disappeared. So
Yeah. So he's performing at Eastside Bowl, which is in Nashville, and for the people who are going to be there, they're very lucky because I think it's going to be very cool. Nashville is the reason I posted about it today, and I sent it to Katie, and she was like, "Oh my God, this is crazy." So yeah. The date is March 2nd. So he's playing Eastside Bowl in Nashville, Tennessee on March 2nd. I will be curious if more shows pop up. I feel like we are headed towards a bunch of live music from Brand New and or Jessie Lacey as an individual.
yeah, but that show is in 5 days
Exactly.
from the date that it was announced. Like,
Exactly.
that's wild.
Yeah. The one thing that we forgot to talk about was When We Were Young. Didn't they announce like a second?
They did, yeah. Just today, day of recording, they did announce day 2, which I've been expecting for a while because that's how they've done it in the past. Was added an extra day or extra 2 days, depending on demand, and it's kind of surprising to me, at least, that they took as long as they did.
Maybe it means that
to
the
add a
demand
second day.
isn't as strong. I don't know. Are people getting tired of going to Vegas to like a huge festival? I'm not sure.
Well, it's probably part of that. It's probably part of Warped Tour coming back. I would guess it's kind of a combination of all of those things. But yeah, when we were young, Fest 2025 in October in Vegas, there is a day 2 added, so you could buy tickets to that.
Love it. Well, should we get into our emo lyric of the day?
We should. Are you ready, or do you want me to go?
I think I should go because mine kind of parlays into what we were just talking about, and that is Jessie Lacey. As you know, I wasn't as big of a fan as you are and as many other people are of Brand New, their music. I listened to it, but it wasn't a mainstay in my repertoire, we'll call it. Mm-hmm. And I just, I'm just gonna call it out because I didn't know, it just started making me question like so many different things, and I really dug deep. I did not know how much I liked this song, and you shared with me how much you like this song. But the song is "Jesus Christ" by Brand New, and this lyric is a little uncomfortable, but I'm gonna read it anyways, And I want to hear what you have to say about all of this, but I think that this is the perfect time to have a brand new lyric. But it goes, Jesus Christ, that's a pretty face, the kind you find on someone that could save. If they don't put me away, well, it'll be a miracle. And I'm like, what in the actual heck Like that
Yeah.
lyric combined with everything just made my brain explode. And I had this revelation only recently and I kind of feel dumb about it. But yeah.
Well, I mean, there's certainly some lines to read between there, or not even read between. I don't think that, there's not too much interpreting that necessarily needs to happen with that line. But you did, yeah. You texted me today saying this is such a great song, and I shared with you. Literally, if you were to ask me what my favorite song of all time is, it would be "Jesus Christ" by Brand New.
Which I
And
get it. It's such a good song. And when he's like,
yeah,
it's so good.
yes, it is so good. And I have to say, I'm a little bit. I don't know how I'm feeling about the fact that you brought that up as an email lyric of the day instead of me. Just
Are
the
you
song
feeling-
in general,
are
not
you
necessarily that lyric. Like there's so many other good lyrics that they're all great to choose from. But it's just like, since that's my favorite song of all time.
You're like, how dare you take my song? There's so many other lyrics in that song that you can pull from. I'm sorry that I chose it.
No, it's okay.
But yeah.
No,
I was totally taken aback by it. I was planning on doing a different emo lyric of the day, but I couldn't get past it.
yeah. I mean, it's a great song. Go check it out. And that's part of why, like, I can't get past Brand New. I can't get over it. It's just so good.
You were in great company. There's a lot of craziness with that story, but there's no mistaking the fact that they cemented themselves as like some of the OG artists in the emo in the scene, if you will. They were around before the scene was even something that we referenced as the scene, right? They are OG, they're brand new.
Absolutely.
What about you? What's your emo lyric of the day?
Mine is Under Oath, and it's one
Love.
of their newer songs called Teeth. So you should check it out if you haven't listened to it. It's definitely like a different vibe. I think you might actually like this song more than I do.
I've already listened to it and I love it.
Okay, great. I was going to say, it seems like more your vibe than my vibe. But I was, since we were talking about Locust Ultra and Under Oath, I figured that would be a good choice today. So the lyric is, it's pretty emo. It's pretty depressing. It's, feels like forever since I had an ounce of hope. Want it to be over, but I'm learning how to cope.
Ooh, read that one more time.
Feels like forever since I had an ounce of hope. Want it to be over, but I'm learning how to cope.
Oh my God. That is so emo. It also is timely, and you definitely win emo lyric of the day. That's a line, dog.
I know, but the song that you chose is so much better. Well,
yeah,
in my opinion,
that lyric for me, because the lyric that I chose has been around forever. I think that to have a modern day emo lyric like that, that's pretty good.
Okay. Well, you're the judge, and I can't question your judgment. So.
Nope. That is an emo lyric of the day right there if I've ever heard one.
Can I give an honorable mention?
Always.
Because you sent me the Brand New lyric that you said, and then I responded with, just off the top of my head, like what I would have probably chosen as the emo lyric from Jesus Christ by Brand New. So I'm going to read that.
Do it.
And I didn't even look up the lyrics. This is just what I texted you earlier. So I hope it's exactly right, but it might be a little bit wrong. But it's Jesus Christ, I'm not scared to die. I'm a little bit scared of what comes after. Will I get the gold chariot? Will I float through the ceiling? I think that's a great lyric too.
It's a really good lyric. I love that you also said, I think I might get this right, but it might be a little wrong. I'm like, yeah, I think that's a great metaphor for everything we're talking about right now.
Well, because like I said, I just texted you from memory, so it might be not exactly right. But since Jesus Christ is my favorite song of all time, I had to give my honorable mention from that song. And that's the lyric that came to my head when you sent me yours. So
love it.
But Under Oath can win. So I can win.
That lyric, I'm not saying Undergrowth wins, but that lyric that wins for me.
No, that's like I said, I listened to the song. I was like, this feels like more like Nani's vibe. But then I looked at the lyrics. I was like, that's a good lyric. So
It's a really good
I
lyric.
understand. And thank you for that.
And the other thing too that I think I probably failed to mention is you're just very good at picking emo lyrics of the day.
Well, it was my idea to do emo lyric of the day.
You have a good picker. I have a bad picker. I mean, we can make that a larger statement in general, but you have a great picker and I've got a bad picker.
Well, I disagree, but thank you.
Okay.
Well,
I think, is that it?
I was just going to say almost every single episode, we're like, oh, I think it might be a short one today. And then we end right at an hour or more. So thanks for listening. But yeah, I'm all done. Do you have anything else to add?
No, I think that's it. Stay tuned for next week where Katie exposes. It's an expose on KT and her experience.
I don't like the word expose.
Okay.
Because that sounds scandalous.
No, there's no scandal here. It's just I can't wait to learn about you because I'm going to learn things that I didn't know about you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Emo Hour.
Okay. See you next week.
Bye.